Hello, everyone. You are welcome. This has been Easy Forest, and today I'm going to show you a very important thing on the markets concerning price that you need to take special notice of. Now, straight into our topic for today. So we are looking at stages of markets, all right, stages of the markets, and we mean market cycle, all right, or price cycle if you wish. Now, almost all the time, price is doing one of these four things. So these are the cycles price goes through on the charts on a consistent basis. So first we have expansion, and then we have a retracement, we can have a consolidation, and then we can have a reversal. All right. So at any point in time before you enter the market, ask yourself, which cycle are we in? Are we in an expansion phase? Are we in a retracement phase? Or are we in a consolidation? Or we are reversing? All right. Now, for a continuation trade, or if you want, I don't know the strategy that you trade, but then your entries are mostly on this cycle, all right, the retracements. Entries are focused on the retracement, not on any of these ones here. So you have to master your entries on the retracements. So at any point in time, you have to know whether price is retracing or price is on an expansion phase or an impulsive phase, right? The expansion can also be an impulse. So let me depict what I mean on the charts. So for basic market structure, we know that we have lower lows and lower highs, all right? So price will keep breaking the highs and forming new highs. Now, after price breaks a high, to set up a new high. The move that broke the high, so from that low to the high, the new high that has been established becomes your expansion, all right? So price moved from the bottom here, expanded higher, or had an impulsive move that broke above the previous high. So let me label this as a previous high. Let me just call it a high. And then we had a low at the bottom here. At the bottom here. So for a low. Now a new high has been formed, which we will call our higher high. All right. Our higher high. Okay, so this is our impulse or expansion phase. From this low to this high is our expansion phase. Now, after every expansion or impulse, there has to be a retracement. So it is upon the retracement, when price is retracing, then you know that price may be retracing into a key zone or an area of interest. All right. So within the impulsive leg, you mark your areas of interest within the impulsive leg. And I advise that you have only two points of interest. The reason is that when you have more than two, you'll be tempted to take more trades, all right? And when those trades don't go well, you'll be losing more. When you're able to reduce your entry points or points of interest to two, gives you only two attempts to take a trade on a particular setup, all right? So let's just say within this impulsive leg, your will be a demand zone. Your point of interest would be a demand zone somewhere here. All right, that you are waiting that price should retrace into, or it can be a fair value gap or a breaker block or any of it that you use to take your trades, or a break and retest, simple break and retest, a break of a high So when market is coming down, you see that it will be moving in a downtrend like that. So on seeing that price taps the zone, the last side that was created before we tap the zone, we wait for price to break and mark that resistance out for a retest. If price come back to retest that high, then you can take your buy position with your stop loss somewhere here, then target this high to be broken, right? So that it forms a new high for you. So this is the expansion phase. And then after an expansion phase, there has to be what? A retracement. Not always. There are times price move from expansion after we broke the high right into consolidation. You see the market towards be consolidating, giving you equal lows and equal highs. That also is possible. We had a break of structure here. So from this low, we had an expansion to form this high. We had a retracement, and from this retracement, we had an expansion. So right after we took out this high, price can go into what? Consolidation. And in consolidation, that is where we see chart patterns, your bull flags, your bear flags, your whatever, your wedge patterns and all those things. That is, those patterns are found within consolidations. So when you see any chart pattern, it's most likely that the channels, mostly the downward sloping channels and the upward sloping channels, are really sometimes speaks of a retracement, all right, not proper expansion. It speaks of a retracement. So you may have a downward channel like that. There are times the channel may be sloping upward. So what I need you to get is that from an expansion, we can go to consolidation, right? So this is an upward sloping channel. From an expansion, we can go to consolidation. So here we had an expansion, we entered the consolidation. We'll look at the chart example. All right. And then from consolidation, you can go to another expansion or a reversal, right? Or a reversal. Now, it is said that price does not move straight away from consolidation to reversal. First, there has to be an expansion before a reversal. Whenever you see price consolidating, it begins to move opposite the general trend. Maybe that may be a manipulation, all right? That may be a manipulation because price does not move from a consolidation straight into a reversal. First, there has to be an expansion before that reversal happen. So can have something like this. Then price will begin to consolidate. Then manipulate the highs, then break the low, give you that market structure shift. So this will be a manipulation. The highs, maybe a weak rejection, a candle with a weak rejection, or we break to the upside and close back within the range. Then finally, price will take out the low to give you a market structure shift or a change of character, if you wish to call it that. So this high here will be a manipulation. We have a market structure shift. Price will retrace into some other block or supply zone or fair value gap, and then breaker block, whatever, then reverse. All right. So from here, you can see that price may have moved from an uptrend. So we had that expansion phase into a consolidation, a manipulation, and then we had a reversal happening right here. So these are the four stages in price movement. So at any point in time, when you open your chart, for clarity, You can ask yourself, which stage are we in? Which cycle are we in? Are we in an expansion? Are we in a retracement? Are we in a consolidation? Or we are in a reversal, where an uptrend turns into a downtrend, or a downtrend will turn into an uptrend. All right. So that is it. Let's go to the chart and look at some examples as we can find. Okay, so you can see this in any of the time frames. All right. What I've talked about, any of the time frames can be used. So this is volatility 25 index, and we are going to look at our price movement. So from here, we see what price expand higher to give us this break of structure, and after which we see what a consolidation. So from expansion, price entered the consolidation. We said what price does not reverse from a consolidation. So right after expansion, if you see a consolidation, price may manipulate the lows, and you could see that this low was manipulated. As price was creating the lower lows, you may think we are turning bearish. As soon as we manipulated this low, price gave you a continuation by breaking what? This high. All right. So we move from expansion to consolidation. We manipulated the low and then continuation. So expansion, consolidation, you see something like this. We see something like this. This was a low, a high, a higher low, higher high. So this was an expansion. Right after the expansion, we saw price consolidate, building liquidity. So we kept sweeping the lows. Right, as soon as we took out this last low, the price expanding higher above the highs to give us a break. Then we had a pullback. Finally, we took off to break out of the consolidation. So we moved from expansion into consolidation to continuation in this scenario. All right. And after this low and this high was formed, we manipulated this high. And we are seeing some sort of what? A consolidation. You know that price does not what? Reverse from a consolidation. So we manipulated this low into the demand zone here. We had an expansion to break the high here to give us a higher high. Right after the higher high, we had a little pullback. So this is a retracement, right? And then we had an expansion. We had an expansion to break the highs. So I don't want the video to be long. Once you understand the topic, just go to your chart, do your research, do your studies, and master what I'm teaching you. So currently, I consider this one as one big move. I had one big move to the upside. We had a retracement, and then we've had another big move. We had a retracement, another big move, and then we had a market structure shift here. We had a market structure shift. So price came into this supply zone here. Use this as liquidity, and we are seeing a consolidation instead of an expansion. So market seems to be what? Consolidating. And in the consolidation, what is price doing? Is building for us a chart pattern. What do you see? A falling wedge pattern or downward sloping channel, and that looks like a bullish continuation for me. So this is a consolidation from an expansion. We went into a consolidation here. We had another expansion out of that consolidation, and then we are seeing another consolidation. So we had expansion, consolidation, expansion, back to consolidation. So we are either going to have a continuation or a manipulation of the lows. Then we have that continuation to the upside. So that is that. You can open any chart and then begin to practice these things. So you know that on your entries, like I said, after price had retraced or after the expansion, it is on the retracement phase that you look for entries. But here, we didn't have a retracement. We only had a consolidation. The price broke out of the consolidation. So we had another pullback or retracement. So this was where I found an entry after we had that break of structure here. So that's aim for this high, this consolidation. So let's see, this was an area of entry. Let's see how price behaves when it goes to that demand zone. You can see how price was behaving. We had a weak rejection. We had multiple weak rejections in the demand zone here. And that signaled a buy. That signaled a buy. Even after this bullish engulfing pattern, we have entered on the next candle. Aim for this high. And targets would have been hit. So thank you very much for your time. Just keep practicing. I don't want to do more examples, else the video will be long. See you soon.